Hey, what's up guys? It's Phoenix in Power with another video. Today's video is on one-sided relationships, friendships, family, coworkers, situationships, whatever the case may be, one-sided, unbalanced, kind of sucking your energy out of you, but for some reason or another we're holding on. Uh, you know, it could be various reasons. It doesn't even matter the reasons, but today we're going to ask Spirit, what advice can we be given with respect to these relationships? So definitely looking forward to this reading. I feel like I could use it myself because I had this thought, and it had to do with, a lot of times I think we get stuck. I know for myself, when I've looked more into this, like getting stuck in these one-sided exchanges because of some thought or some belief or some idea that I have. And once I start freeing myself from this, then it's like another person comes in that is able to get into this one-sided dynamic with me. And then it's almost like Spirit is bringing my attention like, oh, no, you still have this belief over here. You got to get rid of it. You got to get rid of this one. So anyways, I just thought it would be interesting to do a video on this and share it with you guys. So I hope it's helpful for you guys. And let's get started. So for pile 1, we have Amazonite. Pile 2, Tiger's Eye. Pile 3, Black Tourmaline. And pile 4, Orange Calcite. Pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. So take a moment and pick a pile. The timestamps will be in the description, and I'll see you in your reading. Okay, pile 1. What advice does Spirit have for you regarding this one-sided relationship? Okay, so the advice is going to help soothe your anxiety and fear around this person who you perceive as, I see this damsel card. I think you perceive this person as unable to care for themselves or do for themselves. And so that causes you to overgive to them with receiving little in return, or maybe nothing in return. So waiting for a knight to provide for you, seduction. Okay, so yeah, so it's this person. It's just how you view them. Maybe they're missing some qualities, or their situation is a certain way that it just makes it hard for you because you're very compassionate. And that sort of makes you open up your wallet for them. I'm getting a sense that this has to do with money because this Four of Pentacles, she's literally holding on to her purse, right? So in reverse, it's like giving up money, right? Giving up money. But it could also mean, same with this Six of Pentacles. It's someone who is more successful financially, giving to these people who are in need, right? So in reverse, it's like, giving to a point that it makes them dependent on you. And this doesn't necessarily have to be money, but I do get a strong sense of it being money. It can also be other things. It could be energy, time, resources, like just doing for someone to a point that now they've become dependent on your compassion. And this is why you're doing it, is because you feel for them, right? You see them as like, you don't want to, here we have the orphan card. You don't want to abandon them. You don't want to make them figure it out on their own. You think that this is something that's cruel here with the King of Swords, something that's a little bit harsh, something that you can't really see yourself doing because you know that they're really, really going to struggle without this help. And so Spirit is coming in to tell you that you have to allow for Spirit to intervene with this card right here. And even you have Mary miracles, right? It's like right here, Mary. We all know about the Virgin Mary, Mother of Miracles, and the Ten of Swords is like an ending. So it's like you're blocking by doing this, by creating this dependency with this person, by overgiving to this person. You are blocking the spirit from coming in with a miracle. And a miracle is something that you have a hard time seeing. It's like seeing is believing type thing, It could be somebody who, here's an example, is like, say somebody struggles with addiction or something like that. And, you're giving them money and you're enabling and you're taking care of them and you're doing all this stuff out of fear and because you don't want to abandon them. But it's like now they've become dependent on you and it's not exactly helping them. You're just kind of keeping them there in a sense. But if you were to pull that out, maybe they're going to hit a rock bottom or they're going to have to figure something else out or whatever the case. But then that's going to, they're going to hit that bottom and then bounce back up. And like some miracle will come through where they're able to actually get better and get the help that they need type thing. So this is the energy that I'm picking up here, right? Because it's your mind, Spirit is saying, because we have the swords here too. It's your mind, your fears, your worries, your anxieties that are making you or pushing you to continue this behavior of overgiving. It isn't your intuition, because here with Starfish in reverse, intuition, listen to your soul's truth, think less, feel more. So Starfish move on instincts, right? I don't think they have brains. I don't think they have brains. Okay, don't quote me on that. But I don't think they have brains. I think they just rely on instinct, right? So with this in reverse, it's like your instincts are telling you that you shouldn't be doing this. That's part of where the anxiety and this stuff comes from, because it's like you're at odds with your own self, your own intuition, your own inner guidance is telling you this is not right. You shouldn't be doing this. You're blocking the magic from taking place, the miracles from actually happening, because you're unable to see how it's all going to play out, right? And, to a certain degree, I will say, I'll get back to this in a sec, because I just thought of this, is that, you are right in the sense that for this person, with the Wheel of Fortune in reverse, it's like, it's not their time yet to undergo this spiritual journey or this, and when I say spiritual journey, I mean just undergoing this internal transformation, this internal upgrade. It's not quite their time, because the King of Cups, he's very spiritual. He's very, in tune with his emotions, very emotionally intelligent. Maybe this is something that this person's missing on an emotional level. Especially when I think of like the orphan or a damsel, it seems like something on an emotional level that's missing from them, like a spiritual or an emotional level, like, because they are capable of doing for themselves, but there's just something missing on an emotional or a spiritual level. And here with the courageous peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. So the word courageous is what's standing out. And with it in reverse, it's like there's, maybe it's the courage that they're missing or something like that. So it's not quite time for them, because the thing with courage, I feel like a lot of times we don't have the courage to do things. Not a lot of times, but sometimes we don't have the courage to do something until we're like put on the spot, until we're hurting bad enough where it's like, I have to do it. And they're not going to have that courage to go ahead and take and make that decision to go on that journey, to leave behind whatever it is they might have to leave behind to do this, to get out of their comfort zone. Because this is also about getting out of their comfort zone if you continue to give to them. So in essence, you are blocking is alchemy in reverse. Yeah, so it's like you're blocking this magic. So there's alchemy, there's magic, there's miracles. So there's a block that is happening with uh, with this, like, and that's all. It all has to do with the mind, right? Your mindset. And I think that for you, it's always I always have to remind myself um, that with miracles is like miracles have happened to each and every single one of us, right? Things that we never thought we could overcome, things that were so difficult for us. We just prayed and prayed for with magic. Let's see what this have happened for us in our lives. Sorry, I just keep getting off track, but it's like I'm pulled in different directions because I feel like I have so much to say about this. We've all had so many miracles that happen in our lives. Things that we never believed could happen for us have happened. And sometimes I have to remind myself, like, it's hard to see people suffering, but sometimes I'm like, man, I've suffered too. And that suffering it was like God's way of like bringing in good for me. And sometimes it's okay for people to struggle. We have to struggle. Like, that's just how it is. That's how we learn. That's part of learning. Adversity, resistance, all these types of things are part of it. And if things are just made easy and people get comfortable, it's like there's no reason to stretch to be pushed into something, So here, the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are as grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in their manifestation. So this can apply in two ways, right? So it applies to you in that you have to believe that this miracle is possible, that this person is going to be able to stand on their own 2 feet when it's their time, and that spirit is taking care of them. Oh, it's like instead of giving up, because you're not, you don't want to give up on them. You don't want to like leave them out in the cold. You don't want to abandon them. You don't want to, like this orphan. You think that is sort of cruel to do. But I just heard you're not giving up on them. You're giving them up to God to take care of, and to come through and to work the magic that God is so known for and capable of doing. So it's going to require courage on your part as well. And also you're going to continue to feel this anxiety and sickness until you do turn this over to God, because God is in control. Like, regardless of what we think or what we believe, God is really who is in control. And sometimes you have to see someone fall harder or lower before they shoot back up. And so our eyes can deceive us sometimes by saying, well, I stopped helping them and they just got so much worse. And, when we're looking at things from a spiritual perspective, it's like that worse could have been the best thing that happened for them. You get what I'm saying? So always remember that, like, it's great to have compassion. But also remember that, if your body is, if you feel like your intuition and if your mind is taking its course on you, maybe it's time to just take it one step at a time, like with your intuition. Just do the next right thing at a time with this person, and really try and let go a little bit, and see where that goes. And you're not abandoning anybody. I mean, I think maybe at first, like, sometimes we're afraid, like, oh, I don't want this person to think that we're abandoning them. Maybe they might think that at first, like, oh, you're abandoning me, you're not helping me. People, because now when someone's dependent on you, it's like, and you pull it away, it's like, well, I was depending on that. And, they might get angry at you, and they might use guilt and other types of manipulation tactics to get you to continue to do what you were doing, because really they don't want to change, because they don't feel empowered enough to do it, so, but I think in the end they will thank you for it, and they will see it as a blessing, right? When they turn into this King of Cups, very emotionally mature, very spiritually in tune, they'll have a different way of looking at it. that is more spiritual than it is of, oh, you abandoned me, or you left me for dead type thing, or you left me to struggle. And I think that they'll understand, but right now it's more a case of them feeling like, oh, their needs won't be met, or something like that. So yeah, so that is your reading, pile one. All the best to you, and give this video a like if you liked it, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like more. Take care, guys. Bye. Okay, welcome, pile two, to your reading. Advice on what Spirit has to say about this one-sided relationship. And for you, it turns out to be the case that this has to do with work, or how you earn an income. So the end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn, along with the King of Pentacles right here. To me, it looks like wherever you're at, wherever you're working, it's done. You've learned everything that you've had to learn there. It's no longer in alignment with what you want. In this card here, we could see the hand of the divine coming in with a new opportunity, with another pentacle, another opportunity to make money, another opportunity for a business. And then you also have the Ace of Pentacle over here. So it's like an ending over here. It's an ending. And it seems like near the end, it was kind of rough for you, at this job or whatever it was that you were doing. And I see here that you also had this realization that, this isn't what you want to do anymore. There's something else that you have in the works. You already have it in the works, or it's at the very beginning stages, right? So overall, the advice has to do with having strength, having courage to move forward into this new business, this new skill set that you want to offer to the world. So there's the aspects here of continue to work on your skill, hold your vision, continue to practice, continue to gain mastery, continue to evolve in your craft. And then there's the other side of, the business aspect, which is bravely market your magic. So continue, or not even continue, but, put in the work to market yourself, to put yourself out there. Don't think that you need to have a large network. With networker in reverse, you don't have to have a large networker. You could see her pumping out the emails and stuff. Like, you don't have to have a large network to start, right? Like, you can create this on your own. I get the sense here too that you have a lot of mixed sort of feelings. It's like, you don't feel like you're going to be recognized or validated, or with the Queen of Wands, it's like you're lacking this confidence about going forward and doing this, or you feel like, maybe there's elements in your shadow, your doubts, your fears that are coming up that are like, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about this. Like, nobody knows who I am necessarily. Like, how am I going to get this up and running? Things like that. But it's like, and then there's the element of time as well that is throwing you off. So with time in reverse right here, it's like, feeling like, oh, I don't have enough time, or I'm behind, or it's like time's not, it's like the concept of time is throwing you off in some sort of way. So the advice here is really like, say you're continuing to work at this job, right? And you haven't fully made this transition to this business that you want to do. The advice here is like, know that, if you're unhappy with wherever you're at, you don't have to stay there. And, Spirit is going, and you have enough time. Spirit is going to help you along in the way, because here, like we said, we have the hand of the divine coming in to offer you something. So when Spirit offers us something, he's going to help us every single step of the way. So you can have courage in that. You can have faith in that. So long as you continue to work on your skill set and improve yourself, you don't need a bunch of people supporting you. Maybe this is the thing of like not getting support as well, or not feeling like you have support. With two of air in reverse, it's like I see these two unicorns, and I don't know what this thing is called on their head, but it's like it's crossed right here, right? So it's like putting your minds together. I'm interpreting it like that. Putting your minds together with someone else, feeling like maybe you need somebody else to help you along, or maybe you need a mentor or something like that. And it's like Spirit saying, no, you don't really need that. You just need to get out there, put yourself out there, be confident. Don't, even if like you other people don't recognize you right away, don't let that be something to make you feel defeated. It's like anytime we hear about really successful people, or people who've, they talk about how many rejections, how many people didn't believe in them, how many, just all the things that happened to them that indicated that perhaps that they wouldn't have what it takes to make it, to become successful. And so Spirit's advice to you is, don't, like, to validate yourself. You know what I mean? Like, don't worry about all these other people. Don't worry about them. Just keep putting yourself out there, and your time will come, right? Your time will come. You're not behind. Just keep going step by step by step. And each step that you make is like, you're going to feel fulfilled by it. You're going to feel like your cup is flowing over, like the way that we see right here. You're just going to feel full. And that's going to be enough for you to validate your own self. So like, celebrate your own self, celebrate your progress. I know a lot of times when people are on their path of doing what they're called to do, a lot of people don't see the vision that God has offered to you, So it's so important for us to learn to validate ourselves, recognize ourselves, give ourselves a pat on the back, even if we're rejected. It's like we got to find a way to reconcile that and be like, okay, that's all good. God is with me. He wouldn't offer me a vision if he wasn't going to help me see it through. Like, that doesn't even make sense, right? So you definitely do have the strength to go forward and to do this without, having a business partner or having a mentor or things like that, right? So yeah, so don't worry too much about these factors. I guess what the most important thing is just putting yourself out there. So, and being yourself, right? Being yourself, like that's what I get with the sun. Is really being authentic, being yourself, being happy with the progress that you make, feeling the fulfillment each step of the way, and knowing that, this is something that you're supported in doing. And so, yeah, so you could just put yourself out there bravely, market your magic, and people are attracted to authenticity as well. So yeah. Anyhow, that is your reading for pile 2. If you liked it, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Take care. Bye. Okay, pile 3. What advice does Spirit have for you regarding this one-sided relationship, or perhaps multiple relationships? Because in your case, I'm seeing that this is probably a pattern for you, this one-sided relationships. And I think this comes from some type of conditioning that has happened with your past or your upbringing or something along those lines. So, I'll get to that part in a minute, but the advice is that, Spirit really wants you to tap into your true potential, okay? And he wants you to do that. Here we have the card of potential, and then we have the 4 of air right here, which is a card of meditation, relaxation, and just rest. So I think it's kind of with the high priestess and the baby steps card. Like I'm getting also too that a big part of this is learning to trust your intuition, follow your intuition, because right now your intuition is being overpowered by your conscious mind, which and this pattern of like having low maybe self-worth, self-esteem, things like that from your upbringing. Okay? So the advice is for you to take time out to rest, to meditate, to know that the answers are going to come to you. And when they start coming to you, start to focus on what your true potential is, like how spirit views you. You know what I'm saying? Not what other people have said in the past, not whatever cultural upbringing or, family status that you have. Because here, it's like with strength in the Two of Cups, it's like, you do have the strength. Like you're a lot stronger than you know. And you Spirit wants you to have these mutually beneficial relationships. He wants your relationships with other people to benefit you as much as it benefits them, right? Because you're not anybody's servant. You're not here. You could see in this card right here, she's going to serve someone else, right? And it's almost like you get some type of satisfaction or boost in your self-esteem when you're able to serve someone else, And while it is nice to be of service to others, it's different than being a servant to someone else so that your self-worth can come up. Do you know what I mean? So Spirit does want you to move forward from this. And also, he wants you to slow down with this Eight of Wands. Slow down, because he wants to show you what is a poor investment, right? What people are a poor investment. What people you're not going to get anything out of. And that sounds kind of bad how I just said it. You're not going to get any. I mean, you're not looking to get things out of people, but when you give, there is a expectation that you do receive. Like there's nothing wrong with that. Like that's perfectly how everything works in nature. There's give and there's take. That's how things are set up. So there's nothing wrong to expect something in return, right? And so this is about poor investments. It's like Spirit wants you to slow down so that you can be notified or made aware through your intuition what is a poor investment for you. What people, it's very one-sided with, right? Because even here too, with baby steps, action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. So with baby steps, I'm getting that. And then you have forgiveness here too. With baby steps, I'm saying like, that's how it works with your intuition, right? It's like you're going to be led step by step by step by step. And your intuition is going to even perhaps highlight for you things that you're going to have to forgive of the past. This King of Wands in reverse is a character of some sort, whether he is a parent, a father figure, a mother figure, it doesn't matter. A king could be male or female. It's just a masculine energy. The King of Wands is the King of Fire. In reverse, you see this line here. So somebody who I get the sense was very domineering or very in your face, very, I just like hostile, very, I don't want to say oppressive, but really did a number on your self-esteem and your self-worth, right? Perhaps this person was overly ambitious. They wanted you to do this and they wanted you to do that, or they wanted you to be a certain way. And, they used criticism as a way to motivate you. I know some parents do that. Like I come from that type of background where people think, oh, if I don't give him a compliment, he's going to work harder. If I criticize every single thing, then they're going to want to improve. Whereas when you're a kid or when you're younger, it just kind of chips away at you and you start to think, well, maybe I'm not doing it right or whatever. So there's an element of Spirit wanting you to forgive the past, right? Because it is affecting your health, right? having resentments, having um, any type of ill will does affect your physical body and your health. And so there is a level of forgiveness that has to come to be, but that forgiveness is going to come as you start reaching your potential, as you start getting more into this balance of give and take in your relationships, you know? And then as you make this progress, as you start to feel better about yourself, as your self-esteem goes up, as you become more intuitive, step by step, you are going to forgive. That's how I feel. You're going to forgive in due time. It's not, and maybe a little bit you forgive and then a little bit progress here, but it's not like, oh, I have to forgive everything and then, and then I'll be able to make these steps. Because, I mean, these are just baby steps and you're going to be guided throughout this. So dynamic. So yeah, so this has to do with your dynamic with people. The frequency of dynamic supports our ability to harmonize between layers and aspects of different origin and frequency. It helps us to put together a reality that is made up of different elements, both familiar and completely new, with ease, grace, and great joy. Yeah. So it's like Spirit wants to guide you to take elements of the old and combine it with new things. He wants to bring in new stuff for you, right? And release. Forgiveness is about release. Release things that aren't serving you, but keep and maybe even transform or upgrade, and then infuse new ideas, new beliefs about yourself, about relationships, and then combine that to create something new, and with Temple of Truth, throat chakra, authenticity, self-expression. And with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, and this, it's almost like, I just get this feeling that this self-expression is something that you hold back from in relationships. It's like you're prevented, or you don't want to speak up. You don't want to say what you think, how you feel, out of fear of some type of repercussion or something along those lines. Or maybe you think, oh, this is what it is, like this is just how it is and this is what I deserve, or I don't know, something along those lines. And so it's like Spirit wants also for you to really express yourself. Like, you see how this looks like it's like opening up the floodgates. And then there's this sound vibration. It looks like, see this sound, this vibration opening this up, and then all this water coming out and through. So it's like all this like expression, so speaking up. It's also going to help your health and your overall well-being, your physical well-being, your self-esteem, your finances, your body, your mental health. Like, all this stuff affects all aspects of your life, so it's really the advice I'm getting, even with the black tourmaline. It's like Spirit wants to absorb all this negative and ground this like negative energy in order to bring in the new for you, because you do have a lot of potential, regardless of what you were told growing up, and you do have a lot to share, and you do deserve an equal give and take, but you also need to really come into a relationship with your intuition and your own self first. And I think that's where you're getting a lot of these cards that have to do with meditation, with slowing down, with being a servant. You see her here too, is like, it's almost like she has to run up the stairs, like she's running up, like her dress is, kind of trailing behind her. It's like, when you're serving other people, it's like there's a sense of urgency, and I get this sense of urgency and like having to run here and run there and just do all this movement, because it's not like, it's like you're serving yourself and you're serving others, and and it's like, no, you don't got to serve nobody. Okay. You don't. And sometimes it's, you do this from a lack of money, you don't. And I could understand that, because if your self-worth is low, because see, in the tarot, the Nine of Pentacles is about abundance, right? So this is like financial abundance, health abundance, like things like that. In reverse, it really has to do with your sense of self-worth. So your self-worth is very much associated with um, your outward wealth, right? Your inner sense of wealth is a reflection of, or it's a reflection of your inner sense of worth and wealth, right? And so I just get this sense that, like, when you do the inner work on your own inner value and really start to increase your self-esteem, increase your self-worth, you're going to reap benefits in all aspects, as we discussed, in your health, in your wealth, in your spiritual health, your physical health, your mental health with like in all areas. And you're not going to be giving to things that, just for free, like it's free, because all this effort that you put in for other people comes at a cost to you, right? So, it's not free. It's not free. It's costing you something, but people are taking it from you for free, you know? And that's not cool. You know what I mean? So anyway, I hope this reading was helpful for you. Always remember, baby steps. This is kind of where I'm left. It's just baby steps. Follow your intuition before it makes sense, At the beginning, and that's the beautiful thing about working with spirit, is like, you just go in baby steps, okay? It's like building a relationship. When you first meet someone, you're not going to trust them with all your stuff right away, right? You just trust them a little bit. And then they prove that they're trustworthy. You trust them a bit more. And then, and it builds from there. And then from there, it's like a momentum is built. And, you just can keep going with that. And then you have a strong foundation, a strong relationship. And you have courage and confidence to continue to trust and to move forward in your life like that. So all it takes is just a baby step, So just start slowing down, and you're going to be able to reprogram a lot of, the past things that are still, I don't want to say plaguing you, but are still affecting you till this day. Okay. So all the best to you. Give this video a like if you liked it, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Bye. Hi, and welcome, Pile 4, to your reading on what advice Spirit has for you for this one-sided relationship. Okay, so the first piece of advice is, so this has to do with your physical health. That's the advice, is to really take care of your physical health, your mental health, your overall well-being, because with Miracles Ancient Wisdom, it's like any type of like ancient practices, like sound healing or yoga or Reiki or anything like that. But, really put your physical, mental health as a priority. And we'll get into the relationship and the dynamic of that relationship in a second. But that is the first message that's really coming through with sound healing right here. I have a sound bowl as well right here. So I'll just tap it really lightly. Things like sound baths would be very helpful, because you're a very sensitive person, right? Here with Rabbit, sensitive soul, strengthen your boundaries and cut cords. So Spirit wants you to be happy and joyful, right? And with this Five of Pentacles here, it's like you are far from that in this dynamic and this relationship with these people or this person or this job or whatever it is, whatever structure. Maybe it's a family member. I get the sense that it is a family member, or maybe a boss, or I don't know, something where you can't exactly pull yourself out as easily as you would if it was, say, just a friend. You would just say, okay, like, because I can't picture somebody being friends with somebody who makes them feel like this, to be honest. Because here we have hostilities, conflict, unrest, right? So there's a lot of conflict between you guys, a lot of disagreements, and you being a sensitive person, it really, really, really affects you, and it leaves you in this place of just feeling completely devoid of goodness. It just puts you in the ultimate funk, right? It really throws you off balance. Um, it makes it difficult for you to work on the things that you want to work on. It really affects your mental health, your overall health altogether, right? And your ability to function properly. So I get the sense that these are the type of people too who will tell you, "Oh, you're just being sensitive." Like if you ever were to express to them how they're making you, how what they're saying or what they're doing is affecting you, they're going to be the type of person that's like, "Oh, well, you're just too sensitive. You're just this or you're just that." Like, it reminds me of a conversation I had with a family member the other day where I was trying to express something, right? And they're like using sarcasm, and it was like, I was like, this is how I feel. They're like, "Well, da 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 da," like it asked like a sarcastic question. And it's like, you know what? I'm not even going to explain myself to you. I'm just going to cut you out and I'm not going to explain, because when people express themselves, and especially in relationships, the whole point is to gain an understanding so you guys can work together, or be in relationship with one another. It's not about who's right and who's wrong and who's too sensitive and who's too this and who's too that. Like, it completely defeats the whole purpose. So I get the sense that you are tied to these people, maybe as family, and they just have a way about them with this poet, turns a lyric gift to negative and destructive effect. I feel like they can take anything and just throw some shade, throw some negativity. They just have a way of making you feel like bothered, and it really affects you energetically, because you are someone who is sensitive, which is not a bad thing at all. I think they want you to feel bad about being sensitive, because here Spirit's saying, like, okay, you don't have to change. This is not something you have to change, okay? You don't have to change your level of, how sensitive you are, how empathic you are, because, like, that's part of who you are, and that's how you were created, and that's how you're meant to be, and there's gifts in that, okay? Those are your gifts, and you don't have to change it, okay? But it's time with this Wheel of Fortune is for you to make this change for yourself, where you have boundaries and you cut cords with these people, right? Because here it shows that you're in resistance to this major change for one reason or another, right? And with this sensitive soul, and it's interesting too, because you have the Eight of Pentacles 3 times here that showed up. So Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles, and then Eight of Pentacles in reverse. So it's like you're supposed to be working on something, right? Whether it's a skill, a business, some type of, I would think it's some type of creative endeavor, of some sort. And when these people come in to the mix with you, they really throw you off. They make you feel like there's something wrong with you, with bring love into this situation. New moon in Aquarius. So this is like in reverse. So it's almost like with her being, naked and just pouring out. It's like it almost makes you want to go and hide. I feel like you don't want to show who you truly are. You don't really want to express your true emotions. It's like something in you wants to just shut down, and and it throws you off balance to a point that it's like you can't really focus on your work the way that Spirit wants you to focus on your work. You know what I mean? Here, he's like, don't resist this change. You don't got to change anything about yourself. You're perfectly fine the way that you are. It's time for you to have some serious boundaries, cut these cords with these people, and start looking into, with ancient wisdom, I'm hearing more like alternative, like not alternative healing, but is that the word, like alternative modes of health, right? Of healing. This word heal is really standing out. It's popping out right now in the word world health. So to heal from how you've had to endure this, and how to even bring yourself back into alignment, because I get the sense, like, even me, I'm a sensitive soul too, right? Very in tune with energies, and I find that I can get thrown off of balance, and now I'm learning to use these different alternative types of healing, of relaxation, like yoga, like things like that, sound healing, sound baths, to bring myself into alignment again, because it's like, man, people like don't I don't know, I guess they're not sensitive or whatever, but it's like someone can psychically attack you. That's how I feel sometimes with certain family members. I'm like, these are just psychic attacks, like them throwing, like, because when you're sensitive to energy, it's like it's not just what they say, like it goes deeper than that, right? It goes way, way deep. Okay, so spirit is just really letting you know, like, hey, it's time. And I just saw all these cards right here too. And it's making me think, and there's a face right here. Let me just look at this card. He really wants you to make this change, And I'm getting this sense with this. It's like he's trying to spin this wheel, and he's like, okay, so like, how do I explain what I'm saying? Like, it's just a feeling that I have. It's like, you're going to be this card now. You're going to be this character now, And it's not like that for you to change yourself. It's like when you cut certain things or certain people out and you put on a different face, like it's almost like putting on a different face. It's time for you to put on a different face. One that is independent, one that takes care of their puts their health and their needs first. One that refuses to be treated in such a way where the person isn't respecting their boundaries, the person isn't understanding where they're coming from, the person is committed to not getting it, regardless of how many times you've tried to explain it. It's like the reason why I feel like spirit is really calling you to do this is because it's like you've given them their time and their opportunity to make the changes, to respect you. It's really about respect. And I feel like right here, Page of Wands in reverse, like they did not take that action that they should have taken, right? Like for when you respect someone, when you want to have a relationship with someone, And so Spirit's saying, like, it's time, it's time for you to get out of the dumps here and not allow yourself to continue to be destabilized by the conflict. For them, maybe they can just get into a conflict and they're over it and they function as normal. Whereas you, it throws you off. It lingers in you. And there's nothing wrong with that, as I said, because I get the sense that a big part of this sensitivity, this energetic sensitivity, has to do with the work and the mastery and the skill set that you have. So if you want this to continue to grow and to continue to make progress in that area, then you're going to have to definitely put some limitations on these folks, right? And you have the key. You have the key to change your situation and change your circumstances and to protect yourself, right? Right. Okay. That's I just heard right. That's so funny. I was like, right? And then I just heard right. I don't know. That's so sorry. It's like, I don't know if those are your spirit guides or mine, but I heard right a few times. It's like there's a committee that's like co-signing what I just said. So if that resonated, please give this video a thumbs up. I hope it was helpful. All the best to you. And, just cut the shit out. Cut the shit out. That's all I gotta say. You're gonna feel so much better when you do. And one more thing I do have to say as well is, I used to be that type of person who it's like, oh, I don't want I don't want to say this. I don't want them to get upset, especially with hostilities. It's like, I don't want them to get upset. I don't want them to feel this type of way and that type of way. And now it's like, you know, after you do it so many times, like you really don't care anymore how they feel. You're like, well, they're going to have to deal with it, you know? And because we are so sensitive, it's like we're able to pick up on how these people are feeling, right? And, you know, after a while, it starts to, you know, taking this action starts to breed this type of power in you. Like, hey, I don't got to put up with your bullshit. Like, if you don't want to respect me, then don't. Like, F off type thing, you know? And it's empowering. Trust me, it's empowering after a while. And even if, you know, sometimes it could even be situations where they use victimhood to make you feel bad, to guilt them. You know, they're like to keep for you to keep, you know, interacting with them because, oh, feel sorry for me, you know, I'm kind of nasty to you, and I don't respect what you've told me about what affects you, but I need your help, da da da, you know, especially this type of shit you find in family a lot. And there's a point sometimes where you have to say, okay, well, let them suffer. Like, let them suffer. I've suffered a lot. And you do suffer a lot, but yet they don't take that into consideration. And, you know, and this suffering is helping you grow because it's helping you put boundaries in place and cut cords, which is going to help you in the next step of your evolution as well. So the same way they can suffer a bit, and that's going to help them grow as well. So always remember, like, spirit is in charge here. Spirit, you know, if you know, just do what you got to do and don't worry about it. That's all I got to say. You're going to develop that thick skin with these people, and then after a while you're not going to care. It's going to be like, okay, I said it once. And sometimes I'm at that stage now where I'm not even going to say it once. Either you know from the beginning or you don't. Like, I don't have time for it. A lot of times when you do tell people, I realized, is they just try and gaslight you. They just try and say, oh, like, you're just being sensitive. Oh, this and oh, that. And then, like, a couple days later, you go through that same cycle again. You know, they give you a couple days, let everything settle. And then next thing you know, it's back to the same cycle. So it's better to just cut your losses and be like, okay, you know, and just smell the shit from a mile away, you know, and just, you know, ask for discernment on, you know, the types of people that you should allow into your life or even keep them in. So anyways, that was a little off topic, but if you like this video, give it a like and subscribe for more. If you'd like to see more, take care. Good luck. All the best to you. Bye.